Hi, my name is Khadija, and this is my presentation about organizational design, structure, and change. Here's my introduction. So, basically, what this presentation is about is me discussing about the things I've learned about organizational design and implementing changes within an organization. And throughout the presentation, I'll be discussing my current job that I'm at now, the Arc of Monroe, and their lack of management in the workplace and how changes should be implemented and how it could possibly help the organization. Identification of issues. So the current present problem that I've noticed at the Arc of Monroe is that the managers lack leadership styles. They're not acknowledgeable of employees enough. I feel they don't necessarily take heed to what the employees are going through, feelings, and essentially employees don't feel protected at all, and that is a problem considering that the manager should be also protecting the employees and make them feel comfortable enough to want to be there. Um, also, um, also employees such as myself, we get told to work extra, do extra work on top of the workload that we already have, which is already stressful, and they don't want to pay us for it, or they'll try to limit us from overtime because of it. These are just things that coming from management, they should definitely take heed to and want to get changes incorporated. So ramifications and consequences. The consequences that occurs from this organization is that employees are leaving. A lot of people have left the organization recently. So, in effect of that, it has caused a tremendous decrease in employees working for organization, and so now they're for people to cover those same shifts that the employees left from, and so now that's putting more workload on the employees that are still there, and they're expecting everyone to cover these shifts, but they don't want to pay for the employees to cover these extra shifts. The effect of organizational structure. So organizational structure is the cornerstone of coordinating, supervising, and motivating employees to cooperate and to achieve a company goal. The current structure of the organization is as follows. Is very bureaucratic structure, which is if they're more so do as they say, and we really can't come up with different rules, or we can't switch them, and we can't question the rules because it's very strict, and I think it's very strict just because um, it's OPWDD, which is under the New York State disability rights. So they're heavily protected, and because they're heavily protected, there's strict rules that have to be followed because of that, which is accommodating for the people with developmental disabilities. The effects of organizational design. The method of choosing and maintaining elements of organizational structure and culture in order for the organization to accomplish its objective is known as organizational design. So the Arco Monroe has a organizational chart starting from the CEO all the way down to the lower level managers and all the way down to the DSP such as myself. So where DSPs are basically the bottom of the podium on the hierarchy. The lower management level, they oversee three houses and the staff in them, and most managers have too many responsibilities to effectively supervise employees. That causes managers to not notice the staff that struggle with their current workload. They don't see the issue, they don't see the problem because they're too busy worried about their own workload that is too much. Effects of organization culture. Organizational culture is a collection of common beliefs, expectations, and perceptions that influence employees' attitudes and behaviors. So the art holds the following values: expectations. It's just a few of them to name. Um, they want you to give 110% always. Try something new. This type of field, they're expecting you to always keep an open mind that every day will be different. So be open to trying new things with the individuals. Never give up. It's a challenging job. There's ups, there's highs, there's lows, and you're expected to keep up positive and upbeat personality to work at this job. Show compassion, understanding. You have to have patience. There are times where somebody might throw something at you, curse you out, call you out your name. And you kind of just have to have the patience. So this culture is very empathic and very upbeat, and it's just your personality has to match the values of this company, or you wouldn't thrive. The embodiment of conscious capitalism. Conscious culture is about connecting all stakeholders to the mission statement of a business. This is about cultivating ideas and values. The art does not embody conscious capitalism. As I stated earlier within the presentation, that the decisions that they make is made by upper management, and they're saying it's for the greater good of the people, which is the individual. Excuse me, which is the individuals that live in these homes. So their first thought is to always look after the individuals, not to necessarily look after other stakeholders such as employees, customers, and well, the family would be the customers. So not necessarily look after staff, I should say. Um, they don't care about creating a work environment that's helpful for employees. It's more so what's helpful for individuals that live there in their home, because we're in their homes and we're helping take care of them. So it's about them, and it's never they never really take a look at what staff need. Yet we're doing all the work and we're putting ourselves in line. And they don't look at those things, which is in the way of conscious capital. So here's some improvement plan for the steps. Create a sense of urgency, build a guiding coalition, form a strategic vision and initiative, enlist a voluntary army, enable action by removing barriers, generate short-term wins, sustain alteration, and institute change. Part two of improvement plan. So this is what I've came up with. Create a sense of urgency by creating an event, letting the CEO host respond to changes that need to happen immediately. So within my job, I think that would be very helpful because we don't really do events too much, and if we do, it's something about charity. It's never about staff. So I think putting on an event will be very engaging, and it'll help bring out more staff to come out to introduce the changes that the CEO or the leaders want to implement. In order for the event to happen, they will definitely have to recruit staff members who are there for the change, want to help bring out a large crowd to the event, and now just have to be staff that are very outgoing, that wants to see the changes, that's been in the front line about the changes. You want them at the front of that event. So rolling out this initiative at this is stating how the new changes to the organization will take place. Discuss the new leaders will emerge from the initiative. Find people who are 100% behind the plan and recruit their help to attract others to help change. So that's always important. If you want change to be effective, you want change to happen, you have to find people that are on board with your changes and get them to recruit other people, and it gets them to see what the changes is about and how it will help them. Also, ensure that changes are taking place, and you have to delete the old policy to show that this new change is the real deal, that this is what's going to happen. You have to delete the old stuff. To communicate through email when changes have begun, no matter how small it is, a change. Put pressure on the board to continue to get the policies changed with regards to pay and employees acknowledgement. When a new change occurs, it may be difficult to adapt to it, so please continue to promote the new strategy through emails and small events. This is how we communicate at my job. So that's why I added the email in there and small events, because those things that is what we pay attention to at most. Managing challenges. So it's gonna be very challenging socially and economically, because um, changes in salaries and benefits made it difficult for some employees to accept. The change to adjust pay for extra workload could change the staff who are fine with the current policy. Some people don't want their money, or their finances to be messed around with, and so that can be the hard part if we're changing pay. That can be a hard blow to some people who already are comfortable with what they have. Also, in addition to the staff, may be accustomed to the current situation, so when changes do occur, it will be difficult to make adjustments. In order to bring meaningful changes, please, we have to provide open communication, which is huge, huge, huge. No matter what organization, to implement new changes, you have to open up that communication. Provide open communication may limit resistance to change, providing incentives to those who are willing to accept and promote change, which will minimize resistance to change as well. Strategies for leading teams and flaws of collaboration. So I learned that in order to run an effective organization, changes must be done in few and done quickly. However, workers are still invited to participate in the process so that transition process can proceed smoothly. Strategy I will avoid is bureaucracy. I don't think that's an effective structure to have an organization. I understand in some aspects it's helpful, but it causes employees to have no say in any changes that take place in an organization, which can cause friction between management and workers. To help combat changes, I will implement a team-based structure. This will allow people to be in teams and not have to answer to a second boss, which I think will help off balance that tension between managers and lower staff. Team-based structure is people assigned to certain teams for a project permanently and do not have to answer to a second manager. So this is a photo I found in the book School Book by Griffin and other authors. So this is just showing in order to change to be done. I will introduce the Lewin's process model, which is a multi-stage method of transitioning from one change to the next. So using this process will basically ensure that um, the new ways is being used and we're getting rid of the old ways, which is a transition. And that is all. This is my references that I used. And thank you. If there's any questions that you have for me, please send me email. Thank you.